Good morning, class. Instructor Seth Tibbetts. I'm glad you're all here today. We're going to be going over chapter 13 today. Title of Search and Rescue. Jones and Bartlett book, second edition, firefighter skills. Okay. As I said, my name is Instructor Seth Tibbetts. Been in the fire service about 5 years. 4 of those years were with the City of Meridian Fire Department, Meridian, Mississippi. My last year has been here with Keyfield Fire Department, and really enjoyed both jobs. My years at Meridian were spent most of the time driving the rescue truck. Got to do a lot of awesome stuff downtown at Station 1. Got to do a lot of great things as well at Station 8. I was stationed out there for a little while, where I was on a Quint with some great guys, and we did a lot of awesome stuff, learned a lot. Here, since I've been at Keyfield, we've done a lot of classes. We've done a lot of fireground survival and RIT classes that included some search and rescue techniques that we're going to go over today. We also did a rescue tech class that was heavily involved with rope, things of that nature. And all of these skills, guys, can be used. They just really compound on each other. You learn something from one class, you carry it to the fire ground and use that skill. You learn something else from another class, and you may combine those skills to ultimately help your own survivability and to help the success of your team and your whole fire ground operation. Today our objectives are going to be to learn and identify the different types of searches and search techniques, okay? Once again, this is all to increase your survivability on the fire ground. Okay, we're going to get into some search techniques. You always want to search in teams of 2, okay? You always hear the saying, 2 in, 2 out, okay? It's very, very important. Fire service, we never really want to do anything by ourselves. Always want to have your teammate with you, okay? It's very important. Always remain in contact with one another. Whether it's verbal communication, whether it's radio communication, holding on to each other like this guy's doing right here in this photo. Always staying in contact with one another is crucial. Okay, if you get lost in the structure that you're performing a search in, it's really, really going to put a damper on your entire operation. Okay, something could happen to you or your partner. Who's going to come in to rescue you? Okay, those are the things we got to be constantly reminding ourselves when we start to get that tunnel vision, when we start to get focused on one particular thing. We've got to always stay involved in our environment. We've got to stay aware of what's going on around us. Okay, you notice right here in this picture, these guys have some tools in their hands. Okay, these tools are, once again, crucial to their operation. These tools in their hands are extending their sweeping and their searching area. They're increasing their likelihood of finding a victim, while all the time increasing their likelihood of finding things that will help them along their search, whether it be a point of egress, a victim, another hazard. So it's very, very important that you carry a tool with you guys. And if you don't carry tools in your pockets, I highly recommend that as well. Whether it's a knife or another flashlight, some cable cutters, anything like that, just really, really increases your usefulness and also, once again, your survivability. So at least one team member must have a radio. Okay, I think everybody should agree with that. I think it'd be awesome if everybody could have a radio. I mean, both of these guys, I think, could have a radio. I know a lot of times smaller departments maybe have limited resources, maybe the volunteer department, or just a smaller municipal fire department that doesn't have the resources to have radios for everyone. If you don't have radios, you need to stay in verbal communication or physical contact with one another. You want to notify the IC when the search area is complete. when each area of your search is complete. It's very, very important. If you're in a structure, you've got a search going on, you go into the house, you go into the living room, right-hand search pattern. You clear that living room and move on to the next room. You want to make sure that that IC knows what's going on. You always want to stay in contact with him to make sure that he doesn't send in another company to possibly put you in danger, possibly put your crew in danger. You wouldn't want to be conducting a search while another company's coming in with a hose line. Adding tons of weight to that structure with the water that they're putting on that fire, things that could potentially hurt you, hurt your whole team. These are all things we got to be aware about. Okay, there's two types of searches, primary and a secondary. Does anybody have any kind of idea about what a primary search is?
Is a primary search like a quick, hasty search? Like you get in there and kind of look through everything real quick and come out?
That's exactly what it is. Yep, a primary search is a quick attempt to locate any potential victims who are in danger. So your primary search is going to be, okay, we get there, we assess the situation, we get our size up, we see what's going on, we make a decision to go in and do a search for victims. Okay, when we're doing our primary search, it's quick, it's down and dirty, you're searching. You want to make sure that you're thorough in all of your searches. Your primary search is going to be a quick sweep for any kind of life that may be in this area that you're in, this hazard. So if we come up on someone, that we can get them out very quickly instead of wasting time. Okay, and then we have our secondary search. Before I get us to our secondary search, I'm going to go back to the primary search, something I didn't mention, but relying on sight, sound, and touch. Okay, it really sounds very simple. Okay, we're doing that right now. We're communicating with one another with our senses. Okay, sight, sound, and touch, guys. We use it every single day, whether we're entirely bunkered out in our gear, searching a house, or if we're talking just like we're doing right now, we're using our senses. Okay. Okay, your secondary search. Secondary search is a complete search of the entire premises for all possible fire extension and possible victims. Okay, when we think secondary search, a lot of times I do this as well. We'll think of a secondary search. We think, okay, okay, we're going to go in and search for more victims. That's true. Life safety always is our first priority. Search for your victims. Make sure that you look behind every door, in every corner, under every bed, behind every couch, any place where someone could be, a lot of times it's a kid, maybe a kid that was scared and hid in the closet. I know some guys that I've worked with had that very situation happen to them, and it's a tragic thing, but we do the best we can, guys, and we always want to make sure that we do the best job we can, and a good, thorough search is part of that. Secondary search is more methodical and time-consuming. Okay, we just touched on that. You're going to take your time more. You're going to give yourself more time to look in all those small areas. And a lot of times, a good practice is to have another team actually go behind you and do a secondary search, so you've got a fresh set of eyes that are going into that hazard area and searching, and they may see something that you missed. Going back once again to getting that tunnel vision. It's easy to do, man. It's really easy to do, and you just got to be sure that you're thorough. Okay. In summary, communication is key in search and rescue. Guys, I can't stress that enough. Communication, communication, communication in everything that we do. Whether it's communicating with our IC, whether it's communicating with other firefighters, whether it's communicating with our captains, drivers, about what we need, what's going on, things that we see, hazards they may not see, that we may see. Okay, always, always stay in communication with one another. Stay aware of your surroundings and try to limit your tunnel vision. Okay. Staying aware of your surroundings may be as simple as when you go into a building on a search pattern. Say, okay, you're searching and you come up on a window. Okay, make a mental note of that window. Make a mental note of, hey, if something happens, things start to go south, I've got a point of egress right here at that window. Things like that, guys, will really, really increase your survivability on the fire ground. And thirdly, know your role in the fire ground operation and act accordingly. I really, really feel like this is very, very important as well. It's really important because once you know your role, you can really hone in on your responsibility on the fire ground. Okay, every morning that we come in to work, we come to the station, we get our gear, we put it on the truck. We know our responsibilities. We should know our responsibilities. We should know exactly what's expected of us that day, exactly what role we're going to play on the fire ground. And I think once you really realize that role and step into that and take responsibility, I believe that it's only going to increase your success on the fire ground. Okay, guys, so if you have any questions now, and if there are no questions, we'll move on to our next slide, which is a skill that I would like to go over. And after we go over this skill in the classroom, I would like for us all to go outside and actually put this skill into practice. See where you guys are at. Get comfortable with this carry that we're about to go over, because there are many, many types of different carries, different drags that you can do to get a victim out of a structure or a hazard area. But this is one in particular that we're going to go over, and I really want you guys to feel comfortable with it when we leave here today. Okay, so the two-person seat carry. Two-person seat carry. Okay, just think about that for a second. You're going to have two people carrying one person. Doesn't sound like that hard of a job, but you never know what kind of situation you may be in. You never know. You got to account for your gear. You got to think about the size of the person that you're toting out. So this may or may not be easy. Okay, it's used to move a victim who is conscious and responsive, but unable to stand or walk. Okay, this person may have just a traumatic leg injury. It may be completely awake and responsive and cooperative with what you're going to do, but they're not able to walk. Okay, so this is the perfect carry for a person like that. Okay. First step is to kneel beside the victim, near the victim's hips. You always hear, don't lift with your back, don't lift with your back. It gets repetitive and we kind of brush it off, but guys, really, really is imperative that you try your best to lift with your legs. Because the fire service is hard enough on our bodies already with all the hazards that we inhale and everything that our heart goes through. So just try to minimize the damage that this career puts on your body. Okay, step number 2, raise the victim to a sitting position and link arms behind the victim's back. Okay, as you see in the second photo there. Pretty simple stuff. Step 3, place your free arms under the victim's knees and link arms. Okay, I'm sure we've all actually probably done this at some point or another, playing around with our friends or something. It's actually a very, very effective technique that you can use to get someone out of a situation. The fourth photo there is, if possible, the victim puts his or her arms around your neck for additional support. Okay, once again, this person may be totally capable of moving their upper body, their torso, their arms, their hands. So they may be able to help you some, but this is still going to be fairly difficult to do. Anything we do with our gear on, guys, is always harder. It always makes it harder on us. So in a nutshell, that is the two-person seat carry. Very simple to perform, the steps are simple, but I really want us to go outside and practice this and get comfortable with it so that whenever we're on the fire ground, we can put this into practice and feel comfortable and know that we're really an asset to our team. So if there's no other closing remarks, then we'll be done with the class for today and we'll go outside and practice our skills. Thank you.